For a club like ours that has history and has true roots, to have a group that has given us that unconditional support for 20 years, it's incredible, and it's something that no other MLS team has.
Anytime we can have them behind us, it's a huge advantage for us. So, you know, tonight was a night where it was going to get muddy for a while there, and you know, it's fair to say that they were that extra push that, you know, could help us get through. So we're happy to have them.
I love being able to be with the ultras and be with the fans, because that's I really believe if I wasn't lucky enough to be playing this game, I would be a fan and I would be there right there with them.
We made our first appearance at Spartan Stadium. We started frankly because I checked out the Quakes games with you. We checked it out together, and we didn't like the atmosphere back then, 2003.
We checked the scene, you know, we went to some of the meetings of the groups that were around. They weren't something that were after our mentality.
Yeah.
So only then we decided to start our own group.
We wanted to bring in a new idea to the league, something that a couple of us, like Caesar and myself, we were accustomed to from Europe, and that's the ultras subculture. And there was obviously nowhere to be found at the time in the league. And we started with the Quakes' first game that year in the season, in 2003. They were playing the Kansas City Wizards. It was probably like 10 of us, around 10, maybe 15 guys, and a few more joined us inside the stadium. We knew that the fans at the time were not necessarily fond of us, or they were probably just scared of the unknown. So we decided to go to the emptiest section of the stadium, which was the south end at Spartan Stadium. The game was not necessarily memorable. The Quakes tied. It was a tie, but we had a great time as a group, getting to meet some new people, and we put the foundation for the group that's around nowadays. The Quakes are the great team. They were performing really well. When the Quakes play LA in the first leg of the greatest comeback in American soccer, we went there. It was 4 of us, and I do remember that the rest of the Quakes fans, the traveling Quakes fans, which, you know, you have to respect obviously because they travel there, but they were sitting down, and then we got in front of them. We wanted to stand and chant. And we got into a little verbal argument with them because they wanted us to sit down and just enjoy the game. And that was probably the first time that it's going to be a difference of mentality there between us and the Quakes fan base at the time. Naturally, after a 2-0 loss away, you are a little bit concerned about the return leg. It was a tough task for the boys.
We knew that LA was going to be a formidable opponent, but really a sucker punch. We weren't expecting to go down 2, and I think it really caught us by surprise.
We knew with our fan base and Spartan Stadium, the way that we performed at home, that we had an opportunity to come back and actually win that game in aggregate.
We met the night before the game, and because we lost the first leg 2-0, you have to be realistic and you have to consider that you might be eliminated. We were like, you know what, win or lose, we're still gonna be here for the guys, and we didn't care much about the result of the game. We just wanted to be there for the boys.
Coming back to our place and wound up being down another 2 goals within the first 15 or 20 minutes. So ultimately we're down 4-0, about 65, 70 minutes to play. At 4-0 and then 4-1 and 4-2, we're thinking, oh, we may have a chance. And when we scored the 3rd goal, it was as if there was some manifest destiny to get us to the final.
Interesting feeling about it. We were hopeful. We definitely felt very optimistic about it. And even when we were down 4-0 on aggregate, there was something that all of us were thinking that we might be in for a big surprise. And sure enough, that happened. And once the whole comeback was building up, another goal, and then Chris Ronier with the head, and then Rodrigo Faria with the winning goal.
We were always down and had to come back. And that two-game series was, I think, very, very a microcosm of our entire season that year. We were always down but never out.
We felt like that was natural. That was the right thing to happen tonight. The Quakes deserve it, and the Quakes deserve the trophy that year. They were by far the best team in the league, and the guys had a lot of heart. They had exactly what we wanted them to have. ...2005 was a continuation of that amazing generation that the Quakes had at the time. The players were maturing, we were getting in a couple of new players, the team felt like a family. So the Supporter Shield, winning the Supporter Shield, which was the equivalent of winning a championship in any other country where they don't have playoffs for their leagues, was somehow expected for us, which was a nice feeling. The only change that year was that, and it was a big change for us as fans, is that Landon Donovan came back to play Spartan, but this time he was not playing for us. He was playing for the team that we hated the most, for the Galaxy, and it was a very weird feeling. We're talking about 2005. Players switching teams between rivals was not as common as it is today. So we took it very personal. He had a bad reception at Spartan, but once you sign up with Galaxy, you are naturally our enemy. And I know he was not very happy with the way we received him at the time. Since then, it still left a bad taste in our mouth that he chose Galaxy over any other team out there. But ultimately, we beat them 3-0 in the league game that year, and then we won the Supporter Shield. The 2005 season, for me, fresh out of Europe at the time, it was completely unknown, and I couldn't understand the whole concept of being the best team in the league, on the pitch, on the field. And meanwhile, people are talking, and at the time it was more and more talk about relocating the team, taking our team away. Obviously, you don't have relocation of teams going on in Europe, South America, anywhere else in the world, matter of fact. So it was a new concept to me, and my team was involved in it. It was on the receiving end, so obviously I was not happy about it. Towards the end of the season, which was a paradox because the team was doing better and better, they're winning games, they were playing amazing soccer, and the news of us being moved was becoming more and more of a reality. And it was a major disappointment at the time. Obviously, I lost a lot of respect for the league, even though I was supporting MLS naturally, with my money, with my voice, with my work. It was a very bad memory to lose our team. We won the championship, the Supporter Shield, we are the best team in the league, and that was the last season in San Jose. While we knew that this was going to happen, obviously all of us, we kept a little bit of hope in our heart that a last-minute savior is going to come around and keep the Quakes in San Jose. But when I got the news officially, I was on the East Coast. I was in Boston. I was in college at the time. I just moved to Boston for college. And I guess they made things a little bit easier for myself because I didn't have to deal with this loss from San Jose, from California. So it put a little bit of physical distance between me and what was happening in San Jose. So obviously it took us a little bit to realize what was happening out there. And to come to terms with the idea that the Quakes are not in San Jose anymore. Now we are a group that was built and founded around the San Jose Earthquakes, and now we don't have the San Jose Earthquakes around. What do we do as a group? So 2005, 2007, very weird period of time. We don't have the team anymore. The Quakes are gone. I'm 3,000 miles away in Boston, finishing my college, the last 2 years of my college. The guys are still around in San Jose. They are still going to Stockton to see Troy Dyack's team, checking out our local sporting events. And any chance I had to come back to California to see my family, I was joining them, obviously. And these 2 years, We were plotting on what to do next, and obviously we had a lot of hope in our hearts that a miracle is going to happen and the Quakes are going to come back.
Colin McCarthy said he was going to work on saving the team. So he invited people to join him in that effort, and I had been active in civic affairs in San Jose, and so I went up to meet with him and said, sign me up. And then we ended up meeting, John Justin and I and Colin and several other people. We met at Britannia Arms in the back patio, and we formed SSV, and we decided we needed to take some effort to save the team. And we decided to hold a rally in Plaza de Cesar Chavez in downtown San Jose. And the day before that rally, we met with Tim Lewicki and some of the other folks from AEG who owned the team, also in the Galaxy and so forth. And it was in that meeting that I told Lewicki that if he ever moves the team, he's to leave the colors, the records, the trophies, the name, everything here in San Jose. And at that point in time, and we move into April, that's when I met with Lou Wolf. We are working with them as potential investors. They had an option.
Lou Wolf, John Fisher with the option. They hired one employee, and that guy was David Alioto. And they had opened up an office downtown San Jose. And so this was 2007. So he calls me up and he says, John, I want to meet with you at the offices. I go there, I'm sitting in his office. He says, I got two choices. He says, one, I can bring the team back in 2008, or I can bring the team back in 2009. He says, I want to, because you were with SSV and you're the president of Almaden, and I respect your opinion. What would you recommend? Of course, I'm a fan, right? So I tell him, look, I think it's better to come back in 2008 because the Seattle Sounders are coming back in 2009. They already made that announcement. And if you jump a year ahead of them, you can get a jump on the expansion draft. You get first crack at picking the players you want. I want to say it was the next day. Could have been a couple days later. They make an announcement. Earthquakes are back for 2008.